Welcome to Simply Sheppey, your community podcast which aims to create and enhance connections within the community to build a better Sheppey.
Welcome to the podcast, Paul Andrews. Doing
Hello.
all right?
Yeah, hello, Matt.
We're set up and we're going. So, Paul Andrews from theislandworks. Tell us a bit about yourself, Paul.
Well, thanks for inviting me, Matt. It's a real pleasure to talk to you. I'm a Kent-based businessman. My original business, which is still going, is Jobs in Kent, which is a recruitment portal where businesses advertise their job vacancies. We've been going 23 years. But since then, I've developed another number of other businesses, primarily in co-working and community spaces. So we have Fruitworks in Canterbury, Islandworks in Sheerness, and the Trading Post in Tenterton.
Which just brings us down to Islandworks.
Yeah.
Gorgeous building.
It's
gorgeous.
fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so we met when Andrew brought me down. So a friend of mine, Andrew Dealey's been part of the governors.
Yeah.
Been talking about this building. We actually quoted for one of the lifts in there when they were doing it, and he said, "Come down and see this space." And I remember walking in there just thinking, "This is there's no." And Sheppey hasn't got that sort of space on the island with that level. So how did you end up getting involved in that?
Well, it started 7 or 8 years ago, actually. I likewise, I knew Andrew Dealey, and he was running a thing called the Innovate project on the island, and he invited me over to talk about that primarily, and I went and visited him at Innovate, and he mentioned that he was a member of the Dockyard Preservation Trust. So what's all that about? He said, well, I'll invite you to a meeting because we'd like to talk to you anyway. So I went to one of the board meetings there, and they showed me the plans, because then the church was still derelict, it was still burnt out. They said, we're going to refurbish this. And I'm, okay, right, if you say so.
Yeah, more than a pot of polyflu, isn't it?
Yeah. And they said, all we need is a few million quid. And I went, okay, fair enough, well done. And they said, we'd like to talk to you about what you think we could use it for once we've refurbished it. So I said, well, I thought it would make a fantastic community space. It'll be good for co-working. There's no co-working on the island. There certainly wasn't at that time anyway. And a public coffee shop and meeting space and event space. It would be perfect for that. And then I had a couple of meetings with them and then kind of faded away while they went and raised a few quid.
A few million. It was 10 in the end, I think.
9.8 million they spent on it. What a job they did on it, though. It was stunning building. Anyway, and then about 2 years ago, they called me up again and they said, well, we nearly finished. And I went, well done. Fantastic. And I said, can I come and have a look? And they went, yeah. So I came over and I went, what? I just fell in love with the building. This is stunning. Yeah. What are you going to do with it? And they went, well, I don't know. Would you like to run it for us? So I looked at it and I said, well, yeah, I could, but it's not going to work for you and it's not going to work for me if you just employ me to run it for you. Why don't I lease it from you? And they got all excited about that. Well, would you? Well, yeah. So, long story short, I signed a long lease, which is costing me a lot of money. So I lease the building now, and I run Islandworks, and we have a public coffee shop, food, coffee and tea and things like that. We have meeting rooms for hire, event space, and then on the mezzanine around the gallery, we have co-working space. So
we've got some images we'll be showing up as we do this. I think it's a great, sexy space down there. I do a lot of work up at Canary Wharf, and that's a space that you go to and you just feel inspired. There's something about good architecture, good design. Yeah. You walk in there, it gives you enthusiasm. Yeah. And it's one of those spaces that you walk in and just think, I just want to be there. Yeah. And I want to work. Yeah, there. It's just, I think it does make a massive
It's got an atmosphere,
difference.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
you walk in there and you just go, oh yeah.
There's something about, I think, buildings. I think it's a bit like people with good bodies. They can wear any clothes. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Like you go up there and the furniture is good, but it doesn't really matter what you'd put in there. Yeah. It just looks great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas I could put a top on and I'd have to put the right one on to make it look good.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Too.
Someone else. And I think that building's got that old element of it. Yeah. So it's a good looking space. Yeah. So the coffee shop's down there. So in terms of co-working, I was down there yesterday. There's a guy that's just come off. He's been travelling around the world. He's back for 2 months. Yeah. He's walked in and it's like it's an amazing space to come and work at. Yeah. So anyone can come and just turn up.
the way it works is you can just rock up on a day and buy a day's pass.
Yep.
And basically, what that will give you is access to upstairs. You can sit wherever you want. There's plenty of desk space up there. Free high-speed Wi-Fi. There's tea and coffee upstairs, or discount in the coffee shop for food. And you just work there for the day. And you can buy that on an ad hoc basis, just one day. Yeah. Or you can buy a membership, which is a monthly pass. And the monthly memberships can be for 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. You buy whatever you want on flexible terms. So if you were going to work in there 2 days a week, you buy a 2 day a week monthly pass, which enables you to come in 2 days every week for a month.
Yeah, and you've got teams down there. I know that Pyramid are down there, and they've got availability. Their whole team uses it as well. So I think that nowadays, for one, is working remote, because there are some people that are working from home that haven't got their own business, but they just don't want to be working from home, or their husband's coming back and working from home 2 days a week, so they're both in the same space and can't make the calls. That space to go and use if you got your own business, or if you work from home and you just want to go somewhere else in the afternoon where you can talk to other people, or take yourself away and sit in a grey space. Yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah.
So, and that brings us around to, we got involved with the Sheppey Business Networking, which is something that you do. So what do you want to do from that with that?
Okay. As you know, I'm not from the island. I am from Kent, but not from the island, and I don't know the island that well, and I'd like to know the island better. So one of the things I did when I first took over the Dockyard Church and put up Island Works was start to look around for how to meet businesses and people on the island, and to forge contacts, basically, so that we can offer community things. And the place that I normally look when I'm starting a new business is the Chamber of Commerce. And I discovered that the Chamber of Commerce on Sheppey kind of went defunct 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. So the Sheppey Business Network is an idea that it's part Chamber of Commerce and part networking group. That's the idea behind it. What I'd like to do is pull together people with businesses on the island, whether they're self-employed, micro businesses, small businesses, medium, large, don't mind. And what we've done is we have a Facebook page called Sheppey Business Network, not surprisingly, which is free to join. And we've got 70 members already. What we're going to offer is a full membership package, which we've called the VIP membership, which will be £100 a year membership. And for that, you get a whole series of things. We will hold monthly networking meetings, and we'll also be introducing things like short workshops on training. So, for instance, if you're not sure what social media platform to use, we'll bring in some experts to talk to you about social media. If you want to talk about your company website, we'll bring in people to talk about website. If you want to talk about stress and mental agility, we'll bring in a bloke called Matt Jeffries to talk about it.
Good looking bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're introducing that. Then some of the other things you're going to get a dedicated space to use whenever you want as part of your membership. So if you just want to meet someone there, or come and work there for a little while, or just chill out, there'll be a dedicated space for Sheppey Business Network VIP members to use. And then we'll be offering a range of discounts. So at the moment, there's discounts on food and drink in the coffee shop. There's a 20% discount with Jobs in Kent. So if you're recruiting and you want to advertise, you can get 20% off. We'll be adding more discounts to that. So that's the idea behind it. And what we want to do is we want to build relationships in the business community on the Isle of Sheppey.
Yeah, because you can actually from a one-man band just using a desk and buying a coffee, to a company that's, you got an 8-seater and is it 12? What's the biggest meeting room? 12-seater.
It's 50. There's a 6-seater and a 15-seater meeting rooms.
Yes, so if they're doing monthly meetings, or they bring in customers down, they can have meeting rooms that they can use. And then you've got the whole space itself is an event space.
We have, and we're staging events there. We've already held a craft fair. We've got a Christmas craft fair on the 11th of November. was sold out.
Yeah.
We're looking at a range of other events similar to that, public events. So what we've got planned is an artisan food event.
Right, nice.
For local people on the island, so local food producers to come along, show their wares. One of the things in the coffee shop that we're adamant about is we use locally sourced stuff. So all of our cakes and stuff are all made by bakers that are based on the Isle of Sheppey.
Lovely.
Yeah. So we're going to have an artisan food fair. We're going to collectors fair, and we're looking at a careers fair as well.
Nice.
So there's some of the things we're going to do. Those events will be monthly. One of the things that I'm hoping to get both from members of the Sheppey Business Network and from the wider community is their input. What do they want us to hold there? Yeah. As public events. It's available also to rent for your own event. So if you wanted to run an event there, you can. We've already got events booked. We've got really a diverse set of events booked already. We've got the Salvation Army are doing their Christmas Carol concert there. The Sheerness Sea Scouts are doing an event there.
Nice. I think my sister's doing a book launch there, or she's planning to.
Gordon Henderson is doing his book launch. So there's a whole range of different events that are public-private, if you see what I mean. So people that have booked it, and some of those will be open to the public. So, for instance, a lovely lady called Tracy Ferguson on the 25th of November, she's running a craft workshop there, which is open to the public to come along and do stuff there. So those kind of events will take off more and more. The meeting rooms are very popular at the moment. They get booked out a lot by organisations on the island that use them for off-site meetings, basically.
Yeah. No, it's a really good space. I think if anyone wants to, they can just pop in and have a cup of coffee.
It's open to the public. You can come in, you can walk around, you can have a look at the space. We've got elements of the dockyard model on display there, which is the original architect's wooden model of the naval dockyards from the 18th century. Now, we haven't got all of it because it's massive, but we've got 2 or 3 bits from it that are on display. You can come and have a look at that. You can just wander around and have a look. We've had some lovely things, Matt. I was over there a couple of months ago, and there was a lady standing outside the front door, and her friend was taking a picture of her outside the front door. And I said, would you like me to take a picture of 2 of you? And she went, well, no, I just want me in it. Okay, why? And she said, because I've got a photograph of me standing in front of this door in my wedding dress, because I was married in this church in 1964. And she showed me the picture. We've got it on our website now. So we have a picture of this lady in her wedding dress on her own, stood in front of the front door in 1964, and a picture of this lady now stood in front of the front door, which is lovely.
Wasn't she the last wedding?
She was the very last person to get married in the church,
There's so much history down there.
Yeah,
it's amazing,
absolutely.
Isn't it? I think it'd be good to get the team like Will and that to do a speech or something on it, because there's so much behind it.
We have done. We've had a historic tour that the Dockyard Church Preservation Trust organised, and then not this Saturday, but the Saturday after, the 4th of November in the evening, is the Dockyard Preservation Trust annual general meeting.
Yeah, I want to get someone to do a history on Sheppey on the podcast that can come on, because there's so much around.
Absolutely, there's a lot to talk about, isn't there? Yeah. I'm a great fan of historical novels. We have really deep historical novels, and it's surprising how many times the Isle of Sheep features in some of those.
Yeah, that's what it was called originally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So good. So in terms of fitting into Sheppey and engaging, someone that doesn't know you or hasn't been down there, what would you want to say to people of Sheppey about the Island Works and what you want to do down there?
Yeah, absolutely. We want it to become a focal point for the community, and we're outsiders. Yeah, so we want to be led by the community. What do you want? What would you like us to do? What can we have? And that can affect everything, from the menu in the coffee shop to the co-working memberships to the meetings.
There is a honey and banana toasted. So I fast on Wednesdays and I come down there and break fast with that as well. Yeah. Don't take that off. All right, that's
Have you tried the other one, though, which is even worse, which is the Snickers and Nutella toasty?
I nearly had to go on that because they didn't have honey the other day, but she's done one for me. But that's got to stay on the menu. There's some lovely stuff on there. So the menu, getting people down there and getting some feedback.
Yeah, and we want feedback. We want people to feel perfectly open to telling us what they want. Yeah. I've just said about a number of fairs we're going to run. But if people have ideas that go, well, could you do this? Could you do that? We'll look at it. Yeah. I want to provide what the community wants. Yeah. I've got ideas. You've got ideas. We've talked a lot about different things.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from everybody else. What do you want? What would you like us to do? How would you like us to help? There's a number of things that we can do.
Yeah, so the Sheppey Business Networking, me and Lee at Community Connections and Think and Believe, and me as a business coach are getting involved down there. We're going to be doing, we haven't sort of finalised it yet, a networking meeting where people can come along and just start talking about what they want from businesses,
Yep.
what support they want in developing businesses and what the space can be used for, and start building on that, because I don't know about you, I always say with business clients that the first thing to marketing is create a list of 100 connections, and get on the phone and connect and talk, because those connections and those networks are usually where all of your work is.
Yeah.
Who do you
Absolutely.
know that wants business coaching? And that networking element for businesses on Sheppey, it's not been here. We've not had that. I mean, there's a networking system in Sittingbourne, but it's not Sheppey based, so it'll be great for the businesses on the island to thrive and develop.
Absolutely,
with
and support each other.
Yeah, with a lot of the big businesses coming away, I think people have set up their own companies or they're remote working, and having that system there to thrive, will be good. So is there anything else you want to ask?
Basically, we're just looking for feedback. What do people want? We need to get to know people on the island. Some of the things we are doing. And we're doing in conjunction with Lee and Paul West and people like that, is helping the young people on the island. So that we have mentoring sessions on a Tuesday for young unemployed people. We're also partnered with an organisation called the Kent Foundation. And the Kent Foundation is a charity that helps start up businesses from young people, so people aged 16 to 30. So if you're based on the island and even if you're just contemplating the idea of starting your own business, we've got free mentoring workshops and support that's available at Islandworks for anybody that's thinking about starting a business. So just come along. Tell us what you're thinking about. We'll put you in touch with a mentor from that charity that will help you formulate your ideas and get things up and running.
Good. So get down to the Islandworks, see Sharon in a coffee shop, have a coffee.
Have a banana and honey sandwich.
Honey sandwich, don't eat all of it, because I'll be down there later. We'll probably get you to come back on the podcast at some point and talk a bit more about some specifics on that.
It would be an absolute pleasure to do that. Yeah.
Good stuff. Cheers for coming on, Paul.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Matt.